All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our third episode of Princes of the Plains, our special episodes between season 4 and 5. I will remind you that you can watch these in any order, so if you just tune in and you're like, oh crap, this is the third episode, I gotta go find the first one, don't worry about it. Watch this one and then go watch the others.
I haven't.
So, without any further ado, let's do some intros. This week, we've got Brandon in the top left, playing the bumbling cleric Pharaoh, now turned into a snake person and doing some shady shit.
Nice to meet you.
And in the top right, we've got Nicole playing not the normal Irina, but the clone of Irina created inside the Tomb of Annihilation, tortured by some evil hags, and still with a memory connection to the other Irina. It's a little crazy shit. Who is slowly decomposing.
Pieces are falling off.
Yeah. I lost my arm the other week. What can you do?
All right. So, let me set the scene for you. You are both in the Mountain of Fire, the dwarven home, the dwarven, what's the word? Ancestral home. Pharaoh, you were resting in one of the nice apartments upstairs that they've set out for you with a nice view outside. As I recall, you were looking over the black opal crown on your desk, and then you took it and fled.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, deep downstairs, somewhere much darker, a lot less natural light, just torches flickering and lighting the room. Irina, you are in some sort of hospital room. There's maybe a dozen beds on each side. It's just a long room with torches lining it. And there's just a thin curtain is your only semblance of privacy between you and the other folks in this hospital area. You're lying on one of these padded stone beds. It's basically a big block of stone with some blankets on top of it. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Around the room there are various other patients, some folks with like wounds from mining accidents, others clearly with some like mental issues. They've maybe been driven mad by, spores deep underneath in caverns that happen sometimes. Shouting strange things and murmuring to themselves. And throughout the night you found it very difficult to sleep. You've been tossing and turning between the noises of the other patients, and then every time you do manage to just fall asleep, you're thrown back to constant nightmare flashbacks of the hags and the torture from the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
And just when you're thinking you might be able to drift off to sleep again, you hear the door of this room open, and you see Pharaoh enter.
Pharaoh.
Irina, are you still awake?
Not sleeping particularly well. What are you doing down here?
Oh, well, choosing not to sleep well for one, but also... Wait, what? Sorry, there's other people in this room? There's other of the...
Yeah, there's a few other people. Some are sleeping, they've got wounds, some are... There's like at least one guy who's just like mumbling to himself and clearly seems crazy.
Healthcare system here sucks.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sleeping well either, but, do you want to take a walk?
Sure.
Here, get your stuff first.
My stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Have I been given much stuff other than clothes?
You just have some clothes, yeah.
Or does she not have copies of weapons and armor and things like that?
Nope.
No.
When you guys found her in the tomb, she was in a cage, naked, so...
Yep.
Oh, well. That'll make things easy.
Okay, cool.
Bring her out of the room. I don't want to talk around those other dudes.
Yeah, you guys start making your way down one of these many dwarven hallways. Things are dimly lit. There's torches every dozen feet or so.
Cool. I'm getting kind of a little bit lost on purpose. So, listen, I'm thinking about it. It's complicated. You know how you're all crumbling?
I have become aware of that situation.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. Well, I don't think that it's going to stop without any help.
It's unfortunately what I have been thinking these last few days.
Yeah, but on top of that, I think that some of the others are getting worried.
Oh.
I've heard whisperings.
Whisperings about what?
I, I was almost hesitant to tell you, but it seems that Quaros and Theo, they're worried that if you exist with real Irina, that both of your presences are affecting each other somehow. Some magic, something, some link. I don't know the arcane bits.
Has real Arena been disintegrating also?
I don't know. They seem to think that she will.
Oh,
I
does
think that
Theo
they're
know
going to,
anything about magic, or is he just making this up?
Theo is simply against most of the magic in general,
Yes.
as
But
far as
of
I can tell.
course.
But Koros knows about it, and I don't know what he's on.
Hmm.
And he seems to think that you're going to damage the real arena, and at least be convincing Theo of that.
Well, I don't want to damage her, but we've tried
Well,
healers. Is there any other healers? And
healers may be a little bit too small for this problem. I'm not sure that healing is going to do anything. I've tried healing you. You've tried healing you. We're healers. I mean,
I could
have you met better healers?
I could pray and ask. It'll matter. I could try that. I haven't really tried it, and I mean, I remember, but encounters with him, but not. I haven't.
Yeah,
Other Luna has.
you could try that. I don't. Do you think he would respond? You're not really the original servant. You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know. I could attempt it.
Well, I think that might be a good move, but I'm worried that they're going to do something drastic before then. That they're going to get worried and
Uh, That truly that doesn't seem. I
only
mean,
out of love for Irina, of course. You know, I mean,
Kronos.
they want to keep her alive. They want to preserve her and make sure that she doesn't end up gone. Also,
I mean, I don't want her to be gone, but I don't particularly want to be.
yeah, right.
Uh,
Drastic.
So,
I mean, if there's Theo and Eridan, why can't there be Arena and Arena?
Irina, what I'll tell you is that because you experience the other Irina's memories and experiences as they happen,
mhm.
you haven't noticed any sort of decay or anything
Interactions.
in the other you.
Mm. I I don't think other me has been disintegrating in the same way I am.
Well, that's good. I honestly don't know what Quaros' aims are. That guy's weird.
Mm. He, mm. He did turn into a goat.
And he's very small. Don't know if he has all the thoughts right. But look, you can stay here and pray to Ilmater, and maybe that will all blow over. But you're still going to disintegrate in time. That's not going to change, as far as we can tell. Not without intervention. And I don't
Yes.
know if there's anyone here that can help. They're very practical here. You know, healing, herbs, spells, all that. I think we need some god's help. And Ilmater isn't exactly the most present around this place.
That is true. I could try praying though. What are you suggesting? You're suggesting another god?
Well,
Sophos?
listen, Savras has been pointing me towards the future this whole time and has been helping me get forward, but Savras has his own goals, and I think that we've completed our part of them so far. He hasn't exactly been talking much, and
Okay.
I think he just wanted us to get rid of the Soulmonger. He's operating on other planes, apparently. I I mean, he's got his own business. Savras is also not a healer.
Mm-hmm.
I made a promise to those snakes back there.
Yes.
I made a promise that I'd bring them back a piece for them, a thing.
To awaken their god, correct?
Well, yeah, and they're very, very mean, those snakes, but their
Mm.
leaders are misguiding them. They're bringing them astray. They're forcing them to be violent and attack anybody who comes near.
They didn't seem particularly forced to be violent. I think that, well, even if that is true, which I could see where you're coming from, I don't. They're God. definitely does not seem like one to that I would appreciate being in this world,
The,
interacting with it.
well, he might be a little bit strong, yes, but even so, some of his power is divested through their high priest.
So are you proposing deposing her?
I think it might work. And besides which, if we did, we would have this thing. I don't know what they're going to use it for.
Mhm.
I take it out. It's the orb,
Black
right?
opal crown, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's the crown. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I take out the crown. I'm not sure what they're going to use it for exactly, but um, if we depose her, we can control what they do with it. We can move them forward in a more healthy way. Maybe they can integrate into this area, or with somebody else over there. I don't know. Maybe the other humans of the land in the country will be a little bit more amenable than the dwarves. I don't know if they'll get along with the snakes so well.
Sure. I mean, I'm all for deposing her, but how is this going to help me from disintegrating?
Well, look, I was transformed into something gross, but I was still transformed. If it really is about your presences counteracting, maybe their god can transform you into a more pure version of Arena, or just something of your own. I don't know.
I don't want to become a snake.
I'm not going to turn you into a snake. In fact, I'm going to hold this thing hostage. I'm not going to let him turn you into a snake unless if he does, he's not coming back.
Okay.
They need this thing. Then we have the power. We have leverage.
That is true, but how how do they we saw them turn you into a snake. I don't can they do other things?
I don't know. They used their blood magic for strange things. They were wafting clouds of vaporous smoke and hallucinating. It was really trippy. When it happened to me, I felt different. Um, they have power. They're a presence here that with an act of God willing to help.
Very well. I would like
Here's a hammer.
I would like to pray on this before we go. Um,
Well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. If your God will fix it, then
then great. Then we can depose her, and I'm still me.
no problem.
Yes, or
Exactly.
Irina, or
But Arena will, unless your presence is destroying her somehow, she's going to be safe if this goes through either way. Wouldn't it be better to have yourself remain on this world? It has to be better than total annihilation. That would be a very unfortunate end to such a long and arduous journey through a interesting tomb
I
of annihilation.
I suppose that's true. I would rather one of us survive than both die, but I don't see any signs of her dying.
Yeah, well, I don't either, but I asked Savras, and the augury said that it was a good way forward. I mean, that's the closest interaction I have to him in the last few days.
Hmm. Okay, well, can you give me a few minutes to pray on it, and then
Sure, I thought you might pray on the way, but we can do that here.
um, I can do it on the way. I mean, there's no point in me sitting around here, no matter what. I can't. They're not helping me be healed, and I agree that maybe these snakes are being misled. I'm not so sure about it, but it's worth a shot. I would rather get rid of the high priest than annihilate all of them. So I suppose so.
All right.
Um,
Well, you can pray quickly here or keep on going on the way. It's fine with me either way, but I want to get away before Koros notices.
I can do it on the way. That's fine. I do think that maybe I should find a weapon.
Do I have a weapon? I might have an extra weapon.
If you have a sword.
There might be something better lying around. It is a dwarf fortress.
Yeah, right? They've got to have stuff.
You could definitely
Probably
like
buy
swing
something.
by an armory or something and uh,
Oh, lost audio, Jake.
I leaned on my mute switch. Rogar has vouched for y'all, so like if you swung by an armory and be like, "Hey, like we're those guys who came in with Rogar," he'd be like, "Oh, all right." Like,
Cool, perfect. We can grab something out of the armory. Also, I forgot. I have this. I pull out of the sack this huge, heavy axe. Like it's like bladed on both sides and has these tendrils of roots wrapped around it up to the blade. It's good for chopping trees, apparently.
Ah,
Remember that?
yeah.
It was back in Barovia.
Oh yes, the
Wait,
map.
did we have arena back then? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arena was there.
from
Um,
day one in Barovia.
Nice.
Okay. I'm not sure I can use axes very well.
I think you
Neither
can.
can I.
What?
As a paladin, you can.
Okay, sure. I'll take an axe.
Boom. That's a. I don't remember what it's called, but it does an extra D8 versus plants.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
believe fire damage, but I'm not
I
sure.
can pull up those exact stats
Cool.
Awesome.
from this book. I'll pull those up.
Nice.
Cool. So from there, you guys want to start heading out of the mountain?
Yeah.
I think so.
And no, yeah, I'm gonna take all my supplies with me. We're gonna need a lot of this bug repellent self.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can. I keep on talking to Arena like as we start leaving, like quietly and looking around suspiciously. But I'm like, yeah, I know that it's a long shot, but even if we can't do anything with the rest of the snake people, they are just people as far as I can tell, and we can probably manipulate them to help us regardless.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I don't want. If we can avoid it, I would not want to kill all of them. So if we can manipulate them to help us, then very well.
All right. So the axe is its handle is carved with leaves and vines. It weighs half as much as a normal battle axe.
Cool.
But mechanically, it's a battle axe. When the axe hits a plant, whether an ordinary plant or a plant creature, the target takes an additional D8 slashing damage.
Nice. Okay. So a plant is 1d8.
Yeah, an additional. So it's whatever a battle axe is. So that's in the player's handbook, and then an additional 1d8 slashing versus plants.
I am pulling up the battle axe real quick, but we can keep moving. I'll do that.
Cool. Do you want to make that prayer real quick before you go, or do you want to do it on the way?
Yeah. I can do it on the way. That's fine.
All right, cool. So you all make your way out. You have that axe. You're able to swing by an armorer and sort of trade some clout from they saw you with Rogar for some like I think you had leather armor or studded leather before in the jungle. So you're able to get the same kind of armor you had before.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
You won't be
And
dead
then
immediately.
That's good.
and then you all make your way out of the mountain. It's the dead of night right now, but you are able to travel down the mountain and back into the jungle and start making your way southward.
Cool. All right. And how far away are we from the tomb again? Are we like 2 weeks? I can't remember. I know we walked a while.
Roughly 2 weeks travel, I think.
Okay, cool.
It's 14 days. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'll. You know what? I forgot. I have find the path now, so I will use that as liberally as is possible to help find our way quickly.
Great.
Is that what it's called? Find the path.
Oops, sorry. I was trying to look at the stats.
No worries. You crit the air with the longsword you don't have. Oh, no, the other arena crits something with her
Yes.
longsword.
Yeah. Find the path. It lasts the whole day, so I can use that every day, just
Great.
once, and get a really straight path.
Cool. The other thing that you realize, Pharaoh, because the doctors had told you, the clerics had told you before, is that various forms of restoration can slow down the decay that's happening for Arena. And so you think that a greater restoration might let you stall it out for those 2 weeks and make it there without her falling apart.
Perfect. I have a diamond, so like another thing that I'll do like across the course of the day is like I guess when we sit down for camp, I'm gonna start grinding up that diamond. I don't know how you grind up diamonds, but but I'm sure that Pharaoh's figured it out. Uh, so that I can cast Greater Restoration.
Awesome.
I think I have a very large diamond. I can't even remember the price of that thing, but I found a very large one in.
You can grind up some of it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So or just use that multiple times, Greater Restoration, like every 2 days or something. I don't know.
You think that one greater restoration might buy you like a week?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, then I'll do that. Save the rest.
Cool.
And I'll perform that on you like at sundown on the first day, like as we get a little bit farther away from the dwarves. I look nervously back towards the city the whole time, and I seem a little bit more reassured once we're farther away from the doors.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after he performs that greater restoration on the first night, I would like to pray also.
Yeah. What kind of prayer would you like to make?
I think that she knows that she remembers that original Irina when she first met Ilmater. He was like sitting under an oak tree, or maybe not an oak tree because I don't know if those exist here, but a tree.
It's an acorn
And so an acorn tree. And so I think she would probably go find just a big tree a bit of ways from Pharaoh and go sit down underneath it and kind of take a moment to like center herself and then say, Ilmater, I don't know if you can hear me or if you can only hear the other Irina, but I am trying to figure out the best path here. I don't know how I can continue to be in this world if it is possible. And I don't entirely trust this other god. I don't believe that his intentions are good. Is there any healing you could bestow on me or any advice? I would be most grateful.
So you finish the prayer, and you sort of are sort of waiting expectantly. You sort of open your eyes and look around. You're hoping for something, anything to happen. And all that happens is you hear a bit of rain start to fall, and then it gets heavier, and then it gets heavier, and then it's just a downpour, and you're both getting drenched.
Did you bring tents?
Me? No. And then I'm gonna just look up at the sky and be like, well, keep other Irina safe.
Yeah, that's all me. I can augury and do simple spells, but anybody can do that. I tried communing. Nothing.
Nothing from Savras.
Yeah.
Well,
Your caller is busy.
well, then I guess we keep going.
Please leave a message after the wheel.
Along the way, Irina, you get flashes of memory of what the other Irina is doing. You see the party is working with the dwarves, and the dwarves are preparing for war and getting ready to head out. That's the images that you get.
Pharaoh, do you know when they're all planning on leaving?
They should be leaving momentarily, right? I mean, they have to get to the bridge as fast as possible.
Yes, I suppose so.
After the roughly 2 weeks of travel, by roughly the 8th day, you see that the dwarves are setting out on these big stone ships down the river.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Really
Did we
cool.
run the stone ships last time? I think we did.
I mentioned the stone ships in
Yeah.
the finale. Yeah, they're very cool. The dwarves basically spend a whole week preparing for war, forging things, getting everything ready, and then they set off down the river.
Things look like like caskets almost.
Yeah,
Scary. Do they have sails?
yeah, they've got big old sails.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
They're leaving Pharaoh. Do you know that they have stone ships?
And stone ships.
Yes.
And
Crazy.
they're traveling for several days, and by the time that you arrive at Omu, you've made it back to the Forbidden City. The dwarves and the party are still on those ships.
All of the party. I mean, I don't-
Some subset of the party that includes Irina.
Okay.
I don't want to write myself into a corner.
Irina with a ton of dwarves.
And I don't know how they make those stone ships float. Must have magic in them. Dwarves are very crafty, you know.
Yes, I mean these are the first ones I think I've truly met. It's quite interesting. I don't think there was many dwarves in Barovia.
There are none, I think.
Yeah.
I speak Dwarvish. I don't really remember how I picked it up. Just something that happened when I was a kid. There weren't very many dwarves around in the mountains, which is a surprise. Those mountains. And they're elf mountains. It's not that much of a surprise.
I speak Elven. I don't speak Dwarvish though.
And you've never seen my homeland. Oh.
No.
We'll get there one day.
Yes, I hope so.
All right.
Faerun? Is that what it's called?
I never learned the name of the place. It's
That's
just
I think what
there's
Thea
mountains,
told me once.
crossroads. There's a little town called Redlock. I visited there once.
Yeah.
Higher Valley.
You guys arrive in Omu, and it seems much like you left it. Still ruins, overgrown.
Noah Sararak.
Noah Sararak.
Distinct lack of rack.
So you all want to make your way back towards the royal palace where the Yuan Ti were before?
Yeah. And just to refresh me, that royal palace was on top of the tomb, or was it just nearby? I can't remember.
So the tomb was to the far north side of the city, on the west, sort of centrally north-southwise, or sorry, east side of the city. There's the royal palace, and underneath the royal palace were the caverns that were the fane of the night serpent, the
That's
place
right.
where the Yuan Ti were.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we'll head directly to the palace. Like, I mean, no use wasting time. I'll keep an eye out for like dinosaurs or undead because we've had some issue with those before, but we haven't encountered much on the
Oh
way.
yeah, I don't have a helm. I can't tell.
Yeah.
You see a few in the distance, but you're able to mostly avoid them and make your way over to the palace. As you near the palace, you see that up on the parapet, you see armored, like guards, standing there with spears that you didn't recognize before.
Are they in gold?
No.
Okay.
This appears to be Omu in armor.
What the-
Oh, maybe it's our friend has started to rebuild.
Already?
Um, quick work.
Wow.
Should we
Fast.
ask?
I suppose so. Bit cautious. Maybe I should stay out of sight.
Why don't you
Okay.
give me a perception check?
Okay.
Whoever
Both of
wants.
us?
Sure.
Yeah.
And set your drop downs.
Yes.
I already did. I've never missed a drop down.
Irina Goliana. Perception.
So Irina doesn't see anything. You're having a bit of a headache because something is going on.
Oh my god, look.
Pharaoh, you look closely and you realize it's just a suit of armor with a spear that's been propped up to look like defense.
They're trying to
That's
pull
hilarious.
them over on us. They have sentries.
Yeah.
Armor sentries. Not armored sentries, just armor sentries.
That guy's an animated piece of armor? I've never seen one of those before.
Well, if he's animated, he's not doing much of it right now.
Just a normal piece of armor.
I think so, yeah.
Seems like a weird thing to put there, but okay.
This whole place is weird.
Yes.
As you approach the parapet and get a little closer towards the palace, you actually do see some movement up there, and you recognize a friend. It's Nell. And Nell waves and he says, "Greetings. We observed your approach from a distance. How do you like our defenses?
They're fantastic.
They have kept the dinosaurs at bay,
Wow, really?
and the undead.
So scarecrows work against dinos.
Indeed.
They must be related to birds.
Please come. We will open the gates."
All right. We'll go over to the gates and
Yeah.
Let us in. I like Nell.
Yeah,
Now's
Nell
the
comes
best.
and turns the thing, lifts the gates, and lets you in.
You're very strong, Nell. Thank you.
And he says, "No problem." He lowers the gates back down and comes down to meet you, and he says, "Lucanu will want to see you. We should head into the palace."
Okay.
Yeah, we could see Lucanu. That's probably a good idea.
Yes,
What,
it would be lovely to see how everything is going here.
if I may ask, have you had any trouble with the Yuan Ti?
We had some trouble at the start, but they have been dealt with. It seems that their numbers were thinned out greatly by their battle with the Golden Empire.
How about the Golden Empire? Have they returned?
They were thinned out even further.
Ah, all right.
Few, if any, survived and have fled.
Okay.
Put a little bit of dent in their front.
We were able to capture the remaining Yuan Ti. They are currently held in the dungeon.
Oh,
Holding them in the dungeon. All of them?
There are only half a dozen remaining.
was the woman who's leading them one of those?
Fenthaza is indeed among their number.
Daza, yes. Well, maybe we should talk to them at some point.
Nell brings you into the palace and into the big old throne room where you find Lucanu not sitting on the throne, but standing next to it as is her position. And she says, "Friends, you have returned."
Hello.
As you can see, we've held the throne room in anticipation of the return of our queen.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And what would necessitate the return of your queen exactly? Is
Eridan said he would return the chalice to Princess Moxonare and that she
bring
would
it back.
come here.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that's going smoothly. Irina, do you know anything about that? Have you seen
Um,
that?
No, I know nothing of.
Has that happened yet in meta time?
In meta time, I think Eridan and perhaps some other folks have gone to go do that and then meet back up in Orem with the rest of you.
Okay.
I think the exact mechanics of how they're going to get there and how we're going to work that out have not been decided by the rest of the party, so I don't want to
Yeah.
commit.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't know.
They
Eridan.
certainly still intend to. You know that.
Yeah.
They were eager to come back. I know that Eridan was very adamant about fulfilling that mission.
Mm-hmm.
I would not worry. I'm sure that she is coming.
She says, "What brings you back to Omu then, if not escorting Princess Moxonare?"
Well, we actually came to see if we could get some help for Irina. Irina has been, you know about the two, right?
Ah, so you are the other Irina then.
Yes, I am. Unfortunately, the dwarves were not able to aid me in my not disintegrating.
No.
My
Um,
condolences.
Look at her left eye. It used to be blue. Now it's just got a crack in it.
That's so cool.
It's like,
Can
it's
it?
like grayed out, and yeah, and there's some sort of like a fissure
Oh, that's
down
so
the
cool.
center of it.
It sucked all the color out. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of preferred Vampire Arena, if I'm being honest.
Irina's been a lot of weird shit. Yeah. So we came here in hopes that we would be able to find some alternative.
I'm not sure what we have here. I wish I could help.
No worries. We thought we might speak to the snake people also. Just hoping that at the very least they might have some information about how to change people since they changed Pharaoh. Hopefully
I
we can maybe change him back.
careful with those vile things, but if you
Yes.
want to talk to them, Nell can take you down to the dungeons.
We'll be careful. We've interacted with them before.
Do you know anything else about them other than what we've seen? Are they violent towards everyone or
Certainly violent towards us. Vile snake creatures. Thinking they can hold the royal palace.
Maybe we can change that, but in the meantime, is Thenthaza, has she been rallying them together, or are you keeping her with them?
We've kept her separate from the others.
Okay.
Beware their eyes.
Is that right?
She glares at you for a second.
I wiggle my eyebrows.
What do their eyes do? Do they petrify?
They can
Um,
hypnotize.
Hmm.
I used it back in the dungeon. I can do it too.
I did not remember.
Well, we'll need to speak to Thenthaza at least. Maybe not the others.
I need to stay here to hold the throne room, but Nell?
Of course, I wouldn't want to bother you and make you.
And Nell says,
with us.
this way, please.
Thank you, Nell.
And Nell leads you down a hallway and then down a staircase and into the dungeons.
What are the dungeons like in this place?
Like dungeons. Long
Plain old-
hallways of, like rooms with bars, right? Rusty iron because it's all old.
Mhm.
And there's like different wings, and he says the rest of the Yuan-Ti are that way, but Fenthaza is over here.
I
he
take
says-
note of which direction.
I will wait here at the stairs if you need me.
Well, should we go?
I mean, that's what we came for, right?
I suppose so.
So what are we going? Are we just trying to? I mean, she's already separated from them.
Well, I didn't know they were going to be captured and locked up. I thought
course.
maybe they'd have all the instruments with them.
Mhm.
But even without, maybe we can come to an agreement. Maybe I can give her the crown if it gives her some solace, and she'll give us some recipe for a transformation. Of course, I'm not doing anything for her until we fix you.
I don't think giving her the crown is the best idea.
Well, do we really even know what it is? Maybe I should use some
They
spell.
seem to believe that it can summon their god.
They seemed to think that making me into a snake was going to save them the battle also. I don't know if their god is really all that accessible. When I sucked in that weird vapor, I saw him, and he was terrifying and splendid. But he didn't come down. He didn't do anything. It was their ritual. They sacrificed tons of lives to turn me into a snake. It was not him. Maybe he granted some power, but it was not him.
Very well, but I still think that giving them the crown may be something to be wary of.
Maybe. I'm going to tell them I'm going to give it to them, even if I don't.
Okay.
And only if they help you.
That way they cooperate. Makes sense.
We can research the crown. I can do some things. I know some ways
Yeah.
of doing the knowledge about this thing. It has a name, so it has to be important. And
Find
we can
anything.
make final judgments later.
Okay.
All right, so you guys gonna head in.
Mhm.
And it's a little ways down the hallway, far enough that's probably out of earshot of Nell, and you find the cage, the dungeon, the cell that Fenthaza is in. And when she sees you, Pharaoh, she says, "Pharaoh, my king, I knew you'd return for me."
The deposing thing's already going well. I see that you've gotten yourself into a little bit of a bind.
Nothing that you can't get me out of.
Well, I don't know if that's quite as easy as you think.
Who have you brought with you?
This is my companion, Arena. My companion since a different place.
We've met.
Yes.
Why is she here?
Well, this isn't actually Arena.
Oh.
Look closely. Hey, come on, don't be afraid. She's over there.
Okay. I'll step forward and avoid looking into her
You lean in,
eyes.
and she like lurches towards the the bars. Yeah, exactly, just like that. She says, "I see."
Okay. Ugh. I don't think she can spit any poison.
Hope not.
Well, something happened to her. We're not exactly sure how she was made or why. But
Yes.
this is a double of Arena. She's a copy. There's two of them walking around, and this one's crumbling and falling apart.
unfortunately.
Now, I think that I can help get all of you out of here, but only if we have more on our side when we do so. There's a lot of guards around here, and Arena's on our side. But not if she crumbles apart. We two of us powerful. We can fight them. We can probably fight our way out of here. But we're going to need help to do that.
She says, "What do you want of me?"
Is there any way that you can help restore her to her normal body, or even craft her a new one, a new human one?
She switches languages, Pharaoh, to it is a form of abyssal that you didn't know you knew. But it is basically parcel tongue.
Nice.
And so, Irina, you just see her start hissing and making scary snake noises. But Pharaoh, she says to you, "Would you have her become one of us? A pure blood? Perhaps?"
And in abyssal, weird old snaky abyssal, I'm going to be like, it would be good to have her as a easy way to deceive others, but if that's the only way, then yes, only don't tell her.
She says, "A pure blood can pass among humans with ease."
Can we transform? I thought I was a pure blood.
She says, "You were half pure blood. And you are now a nightmare speaker like myself."
Oh.
She says, "If you can get us down to the temple," by which she means the underneath the palace where you were transformed, she says, "the blood should still be there and the ritual can be completed."
I don't know if I can get you out before I transform her. Could I complete this ritual on my own?
She says it might be difficult, but I can explain to you the important pieces.
Okay. It's also possible that I could release just you and bring you down there beforehand. That would be easier to sneak around with than if we release all the others.
That would be perfect. I can perform the ritual. You and I can perform it together.
Okay.
And she turns to Irina and she says, now back in common, "Apologies, the details of the UNT construction of a new non-UNT body, the words simply do not translate."
Do I believe her that they can do that?
You can give me an insight check.
Okay, yeah.
You don't really trust her, but you might trust Pharaoh if you like.
Yeah.
So she turns to Pharaoh and says, "Oh, you can explain to her."
It's all about the ritual. They need to perform certain rites. They need to talk to their god, they think, and then it's not as simple as dunking you in some blood, apparently.
Okay, I'm gonna lean into Pharaoh's ear and in an elvish whisper, I don't entirely trust her, but if you can keep her under control.
I haven't. I'll. Do I speak Elvish? 1 sec. I might not.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Afraid.
You absolutely speak Elvish. You're half elf, and your mother is an elf, and you were
Yeah.
raised by her.
Yeah, I respond. We can. We don't need to trust her. We just need to use her. We have the crown still, and once we reveal that, she'll know that she needs to do what we want. Otherwise, there's no chance of her fulfilling her goals.
Okay, I think we just need to be watchful of her trying to take the crown and bolting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Certainly. Well, I think that we're going to need to release her at some point, but we shouldn't do it now with Nell nearby. Probably come back at night when nobody's watching. I don't know how they guard this thing.
Okay.
We'll be back, Fenthazo. We must release you in a quiet manner.
She says, "I will be waiting."
Okay. And I'll back out with Arena.
Cool.
I don't really trust her either, and I don't want her to remain as the head of those snakes. I still want to overthrow her, but I think that will be easier to do once we're in the ritual chamber and we can get you safe and we can figure out what else is involved in her duties. Maybe we can convince them all that I am on their side primarily.
What sort of magic is this? Is this more of the magic that made you into this?
She said it wasn't as simple as dunking you in some blood, but I
I
suspect there's still going to be some dunking.
there c- I cannot sacrifice others for
No,
people.
no, 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 no. The blood's already there. They already sacrificed everybody.
Oh, goody.
Same stuff. We don't need
That's
to. I wouldn't do that again either. I, I think that I'm above that also.
I I hope you are.
Count Pharaoh, different story, but
Hmm.
Oh. All right. As you guys make it to the stairs, Nell is there, and he's how did it go?
not not great. We can't get too much out of her.
Untrustworthy slithering nightmare.
She has been loath to speak to us as well.
Yeah, I think we may need something out of the sanctum underneath the temple at some point, but I'm not entirely certain. We're going to have to get more out of her. I have a piece of leverage, but I'm not willing to reveal it just yet.
He says, "Indeed, that leverage may be exactly what is needed."
Maybe, and maybe you know more about it. I don't remember what Nell already told us about the crown, but I don't think he told
Nell
us that.
didn't know much about the crown.
Okay, he didn't know much.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm in fact going to say, do you think we should ask? What's the lady
Lucanu?
that's here?
Lucanu?
Lucanu. Should we ask Lucanu? Maybe she knows anything about it. Somebody here might.
Lucanu may know more than I, but I did hold some knowledge of all the archives of Omu.
Yeah, I don't think there's much hope there.
Well, if there's something that I know that's more than the sum archives of all the knowledge of Omu, it's the archive of the magical fizzling things that go back and forth through your head whenever you speak the words. You know what I mean?
No, I do not. Should we go upstairs?
Yeah. You guys can't just say a bunch of stuff with an item and have it tell you what it is in a ritual?
Oh, identify.
Yeah, that one, but better, like on speed.
I did not understand. We could do that, and he starts leading you upstairs.
Okay.
I by the way, have legend lore, which is what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Sorry, is it just called it's called the Black Crown of what?
The Black Opal Crown.
Black Opal Crown. Yeah, I think if we go upstairs, I'm going to set it down on the ground, start like putting around. We have so much incense, which is good because this needs 250 gold pieces of incense.
Damn.
And yeah, I'll set it down on the ground and begin like arranging things and doing this long, complex ritual. It takes like 10 minutes to get done. I thought it was an hour.
Cool.
And I want Legend Lore, the Black Opal Crown.
All
See
right.
what I can
Give me
do.
the text for Legend Lore. Tell me what I gotta
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
Right.
I name the object. So as long as that is its actual name, the Black Opal Crown, not some like colloquial name, then
Yeah.
it will give me a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing. It might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that's never been widely known.
Awesome.
If it's not of legendary importance, you get no information.
All right. Long ago, at the end of creation, there existed many beings, entities. One, the world serpent, a power of creation, and the other, Dendar the night serpent, a power of destruction. And in order for creation to be made whole, and to end the endless cycle of creation and destruction, ancient powers locked Dendar the night serpent away. Deep inside a demiplane in the Shadowfell. And set a series of trials so that only the selected few would be able to free Dendar and to bring about destruction. The Black Opal Crown, there are actually many of them in many different planes, and they are the keys to entering the realm of the Shadowfell, the demiplane, where Dendar resides, where the trials reside that must be passed to free Dendar.
Huh.
So you get all of that. Irina, you know only what Pharaoh tells you.
Yeah, like this is whispering in and out of my ears, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of like trying to keep it all straight. And eventually it ends, and I'm just a little bit confused, and I say, "Well, it's not going to bring him back, not by itself."
Oh, okay. That's good, right?
Yeah, but it will give them access to him.
Ooh.
They can go and enter his realm. He's trapped somewhere. It sounds like Dendar.
Hmm.
But again, I plan to overthrow Thenthasa. I think that if we use this as the bait, we can drag her along as long as we need, string her along, and when we're ready, we can get rid of her. Whether that means killing her or simply exiling her somehow, I don't know if that will be possible. It might have to end in her death. This will still prevent them from ever reaching him. They'll be no closer than they were.
So you're proposing that we give them the crown, or
Well, we
just
tell them about the crown. Maybe we give them the crown if it's necessary, and we prevent them from using it.
I would be fine using the crown as bait. I do not believe that giving them the crown is the way forward. If it
Well-
gives them any step, any leverage closer to this god of theirs,
Well, fine. We don't need to give them the crown.
Okay.
If we can overthrow Thenthasa,
yeah.
I need not hand the crown to anyone. I can hold on to it. I'm the one they wanted to have it in the first place. I believe I'm the. It says it needs a chosen one or something. I don't know how I get chosen by all these deities, but it seems to think that I can, or Thenthasa seemed to think that I could enter his plane and conduct these trials, which I have no intention of doing.
Okay. Very well.
It's also not the only one. There's other ones.
So we need her to do this ritual to restore me?
I'm not a snake priest.
You are a snake and a priest, but
Very well, I suppose. And I will be turned into a human,
Yeah,
not a snake.
not a snake.
Can I see if I believe him?
you can roll some insight, and Pharaoh, you can roll some deception.
Right.
Oh,
Ooh. So this is very close. So it's not necessarily that you see that Pharaoh is outright lying, but that he's not telling you the whole story.
okay. Very
You know
well.
he's hiding something.
Very well.
It could be that you will get turned into a snake person, but that he's just hiding that because he wants you to survive, right? And he knows that you wouldn't agree to being a snake person, but that, like, if that's the only way to save you, it could be something more nefarious. It could be
Okay.
something that he and Venthaza talked about when they were talking in Parcel Tongue.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Nell comes by eventually and says, well, if you are to stay for some time, we have prepared the royal apartments. They are designed for guests of royalty. However, as there is no royalty around, you can be our guests.
Well, thank you, Nell. That is very sweet.
I will warn you that they are
Loyalty anyway.
slightly dilapidated and overgrown, but still serviceable.
I've lived outside. It's okay.
He brings you guys up and to these you can tell that they were once these gorgeous apartments with like flowing water and like beautiful water features and like hanging vines and all that. But now they are mostly pretty ruinous. The areas where like there was like this like patio that was open out so you could see the city is now completely grown over. You can barely see through the vines and the plants to see out to the city, which makes it much darker. All of the things that would have had water flowing through them have dried up. And have, like dirt and gunk in them.
I think you're doing a very good job of restoring this place. It will take some time, but it will get there.
Thank you. The rooms, is where I've focused my restoration efforts. And he shows you to like the rooms with the beds, and those actually seem in decent shape. He's taken some of the camp supplies that you had before, and like so there's definitely like it's definitely like a camping blanket that he's like turned into a mattress. Like,
I like to think there's a bunch of sticks and he's made like a canopy bed out of a tent. So
yeah,
it's, like,
exactly,
fancy, but really not fancy.
exactly. A tarp canopy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Cool. Oh, thank you. Now, I think we'll turn in for right now. We've been walking a while. Had to walk all the way back, Those snakes are being guarded really well, right?
By myself and Lucanu.
Good.
And you guys, what? Rotate, walking around, shift schedule.
I
Anything like
appreciate your concern. I do not need to sleep.
That's right.
I
Okay.
I take shifts watching the walls and the prison.
Okay. All right. I'll let him go. Awkwardly drift off of that last bit.
Really great to see you again. I will see you in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye now.
He heads off.
How are we gonna get past that guy?
I can make us a little bit stealthier.
He
Well,
also
that's good.
said he does switch between watching the dungeons and watching the walls. So
Yeah. But I would assume in the off time then someone else is watching the dungeons, maybe Lucano.
Yeah, they probably switch between wall and dungeon. Maybe
Or
not
Lucano
one.
doesn't
Lucanu
wait.
has to sleep and Nell doesn't.
Okay.
Can I detect magic real quick as he's leaving? I want to do that quietly if that's possible, and see if I can detect him with my detect magic.
Sure, give me stealth or sleight of hand, depending if it's got a verbal component.
Let me look at its components.
If it's
I
just
have- Verbal somatic.
verbal sound, okay, so stealth.
Stoof.
You start muttering something, and he says, and he turns to like as if he thought you were saying something to him.
Is no, I was just checking this crown again.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
He heads out. The crown pings as magical.
Okay. Cool. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll try it anyway. Maybe it
so
won't be that hard.
the sun sets. It's raining again outside. It's only a little bit leaky here.
That's nice. You've been sleeping in the rain.
Until a few. You're glad that you have the canopy over the bed. And eventually you guys think you've waited long enough that Lucanu has probably gone to sleep.
All right. I can make us stealthier.
Okay. So may Sovereign the Snake Man guide us, I suppose.
Yes. All right. Let's see. How long does Pass Without a Trace last?
I'll just say, is that pass without
Up to
trace?
1 hour.
Yeah, nice.
Great.
Are you clankier than me? How's your clankiness?
My clankiness is
Still
not
clanky.
too bad.
Oh no clankiness. I forgot.
Leather
Yeah,
armor, yeah.
Yeah, I'm minimally clanky.
Cool. I'm going to guide myself.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think you might actually be better at that than me.
So you get plus
not-
10
I'm
on
not-
stealth.
yes.
And then you get your extra d4. All right, so
Oh,
let's
that
do...
gives us a straight up plus 10.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
So let's do some stealth checks.
All right.
Cool. Don't get a nat 1.
Pretty
Cool.
good.
Nice.
Nice. So you have, Irina, you have 29, and Pharaoh, you have 34.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You both are able to... Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah. I was just going to I was going to also cast a spell to help. I was going to cast the Arcane Eye to like go look for them.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
So you're able to send the Arcane Eye ahead and watch, and you see Nell like watching the stairs, and then you see him like record a log to himself, like Nell's log at precisely 37 minutes and 47 seconds after midnight. Like
I love
he says,
So-
I will now go to the walls. Lucano is behind on schedule, but I must not miss. my schedule.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
I like to imagine that the way that he records a log is he sticks a tape in one end, then hits record, and then starts speaking. It's like recording the radio. It seems like Lucano's dragon. We should be able to get in between Nell and Lucano. And Nell's looking at walls, so no problem there. Let's just be quiet.
Okay.
So you guys have maybe a couple minutes till Lucanu makes it. She's probably, sleeping in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll walk down towards the stairs downwards towards the dungeon.
You're able to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of the way, so that shouldn't be hard.
Mhm.
As we're heading down, like, do you have a way to get through the bars? I think that axe is really for plants.
Can I cast Misty Step on someone else, or is it just on me? I think it's just on me.
Bring somebody. Pharaoh does not know at all.
But then I would have to be inside.
Can you cast Misty Step twice?
Yeah.
You
But
Misty Step
Can I
her
bring
out.
someone?
I will say, just for this instance, if you cast it at like a level higher or something, you can do that.
Okay, great.
I don't know what the actual rules are, and I don't want to set a precedent, but I like that. It sounds cool, so let's do it.
Okay.
So you guys head
So-
down. You head down the hallway, and there's Fenthaza. You see she's like resting on the little like plank of wood that hangs from chains from the wall, and as you approach, she like sits up.
Hello, Fanthaza.
Hello,
All right.
Irina. Are we ready?
We're ready, but some ground rules. Your help is necessary, and we want Irina alive. And we don't want her to be a snake, right, Irina?
Yes.
Anyway. She says, yes,
I wish
as we
that-
agreed before when we spoke.
Okay. Now, also, we have something that you might need. Take out crown.
Her eyes. You did retrieve it.
It was in the
Excellent.
It was in the tomb. But hold on. Only getting it after she's fine. And remember, if anything goes wrong, I'm going to put it in a bag of holding. I'm going to find a portable hole. There's going to be a flash of light and no more crown.
Her face turns to anger for a moment. She says, I understand the terms. Now, how are you getting me out of here?
And I will bam. And then
Shoo.
cast it at a higher level. Yep.
Cool.
I will
And then-
cast it at level 3.
Cool. So you cast the first one to get in, and then the second one to get out.
Yeah.
The second one is at the higher level, and she goes, oh, that was delightful. She says, let us go to the temple.
Very well. Let's be quick.
You guys quickly head up the stairs. You send the arcane eye ahead. You see that Lucanu still hasn't arrived. You send the arcane our way down a hallway, and you do see that she's coming. But you guys are able to quickly head up the stairs, down a hallway, and out. From here, you guys are able to find a passage where you don't have to go out the gates again. That takes you down to what at one point was like the basements and things of the royal palace, but has been turned in the last century into the fane of the serpent, fane of the night serpent.
Is it not locked or anything? Oh, cool.
They're just connected now because it used to be part of the palace.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And as
Not
soon as
very
you get into a part that's clearly the fane, Fenthaza takes the lead because she now knows where she is. And she says, this way. She
Okay.
slithers on in ahead. And you guys navigate the hallways until you arrive in that familiar ritual temple room. The large pool of blood in the center is now, the top is caked and dry.
He might need another bath after the bath.
And she says, we'll need some of the ritual implements. And she goes and like there's a like a chest in the corner. She opens it and she pulls out some like incense, and she goes over and the gong has been knocked over, and she writes it, and she's sort of getting everything ready.
So how does this ritual work, Fanthaza?
And she says, the core elements will be similar to Pharaoh's transformation.
So
will.
you guys do some hibbledy-jibbledy, and then I step in the blood?
Essentially, we can
And
skip some of the more ritual components that do not have, that only have, cultural significance.
what is she gonna? Is she gonna look the same afterwards? Is she going to be the same? Is she gonna be Arena or somebody else?
She will be a humanoid. It will be a random form.
Very well.
Good enough, I suppose.
I'm fine with a random form.
And then she says, I will need to confer with you, Pharaoh, about the details of the ritual. As another UNT, you will be needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then she speaks to you in parcel tongue again. And she says, once she enters the blood, she cannot leave until she's transformed.
I will hold her.
She says, excellent. And she says, we need to burn the incense and begin the chant.
And I'm going to say beforehand.
In common or in abyssal?
No, in Abyssal.
Okay.
Beforehand. After this is done, I will help you bring back Dendar. I know more about this crown now. But
She,
but only under the condition that you and yours follow me from now on.
she says, I bred you to be my king, and you shall be.
Well, good, because you must swear your fealty to me now.
And she says, in front of her,
It's fine, it's in Abyssal, but there's more to it. This will be a binding fealty. You'll be sworn to protect me and carry out my will, and lead the snake people towards whatever I favor.
she says, as long as you favor the return of Dendar, I will
I will.
swear my fealty to you, my king.
Then would you accept this quest, this Geas?
She will, as long as the condition includes releasing Dendar.
Yeah, I will even include that in the wording. Like, I
Great.
don't know. It doesn't. This is actually only a minute cast time, which is why I'm doing it now. It's a minute and just purely verbal. So yeah, I will like explicate, go through as much like legal wording as I need to say. I will help. Like after I bring back Dendar, this will immediately go into effect. You will like be bound to me. You will do
So
whatever I say.
she'll even say, like, she will, as long as your intent and goals are still to release Dendar, and once he's released, she will follow your every whim.
Cool. So yeah, she'll follow my will, and then as an addendum, she will also renew the quest with me every 30 days.
She says, she's yeah, as long as you intend to release Dendar, and once you release Dendar, it will be done.
Cool. Okay. All right. And like I say all this, some like words crackle out words and,
Yeah.
and some strange weird wisps of smoke and put my hand on her forehead and like she bows her head. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just over. It's
And
done.
then she pops up, and in common, she says for Irina's ears, such a quick learner, this ritual will go smoothly.
You don't speak Abyssal, right, Nini?
Nope.
You don't know any?
No, nothing.
And she says, down into the blood, if you will.
Down? You guys don't do any chanting first?
That
No, we
was
did-
chanting.
That's the chanting. Hold your nose. Trust me, it's really gross when it gets in your nose.
Ah, very well. So I will step up to the rim, and then right before I get in, I'm going to turn to Pharaoh and be like, one quick question, Pharaoh. And I'm going to go ahead and cast Zone of Truth. Pharaoh, I have trusted you in the past, but I'm not sure you are being completely honest with me. Will I be human?
Verbal and somatic components means it's very clear that she cast a spell before she
Yeah,
asked.
yeah. I totally.
Yeah, I don't mind if I know.
Holy light coming down from nowhere. Yeah, sure. You're not going to turn into this thing that I am. You're going to be a person.
I'm going to be a person, completely a person.
A person.
A human person.
You're going to be a humanoid person.
A human person.
Going to be a human person, I test.
Yeah, good. Make your save.
Do I get to make
Yeah,
a DC on
Charisma
this one?
saving
I
throw.
don't remember 5e. zone.
Let me read it.
It's a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, charisma.
Oh, my best stat.
And what's your DC, Irina?
16.
Whew. Hey, the words come out. You were going to be a human person.
A humanoid person. A human person. A human person.
Okay. Very well. Okay. And she will.
Very nervous.
As you step down into the blood, the top of it sort of cracks and bends and then parts as you step into it. It's thick and gross and coagulated. And you descend into it and it soaks like up to your chest.
There, like that. Stay in the center. I'm going to get closer. Slowly.
Fenthaza starts lighting incense and chanting. And she goes and she comes over and she hits the gong once. And she's chanting and the incense is burning. And you actually, Irina, you start to feel like the blood is like swirling or even moving.
Ew.
Yeah, it's really gross. And then you feel yourself starting to change. You feel something different. And, you sort of panic. You lift your arms up a little, and you see scales on your arms. Just a little here and there.
I'm trying to get out.
Do you say anything?
I'm saying, Pharaoh, what did you do?
Nothing. Stay in. Stay in the blood.
No, I'm turning scaly.
You're turning into a humanoid. A person.
This is not a human person.
It's a person, trust me. If you try to get out, I'm going to get in and try to keep you there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out. I'm turning into a snake.
All right.
Slither up into the blood. I'm already slithery. I'm probably faster in the water than you.
You climb in, and you're going to try and grapple her, so
Yeah.
give me strength athletics, and then, Irina, you get to pick strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics.
For sure.
But at disadvantage, because you're in blood and, decaying.
It's a no-go. It's an 11.
So you try and get out there, and Pharaoh seems like much stronger than you would expect as he holds you in there, and then pushes you down and dunks your head completely under the blood, and holds you there for a few moments until you feel a change not only in your physical form, but something is happening in your mind. Let me tell you something about the Yuan Ti. Yuan Ti lack emotion. And I don't just mean like all emotion, because clearly they get like angry or like, satisfied with something, right? They're like psychopaths. They have no empathy.
Good, I'm a sociopath. That's exciting.
No, not sociopaths, because that's different. I mean a psychopath.
Okay, so they're violent too. Good.
And you feel that part of you, which is a huge part of you, your empathy and your care for others, recede and vanish and almost disappear completely. The only smidgen that you can still feel is in that connection to Irina. You can remember what it feels like for the other Irina to feel it. But you have none of those feelings yourself. And the second that recedes, what rises in its stead is jealousy and anger and this sort of like this feeling of unfairness, right? Like the fact that like, why does she get to take my place? Right? I am the same. I had all the same experiences and memories. What makes her better than me? Nothing.
It's like the opposite of Arena.
Yeah, exactly. Complete polar opposite.
Right. And as that happens, Pharaoh, you hear Fenthaza say enough, and you release Irina. And Irina, the Yuan Ti pureblood, rises from the blood.
So what's she look like? Just scaly Arena?
So she mostly looks the same. She still is humanoid. She's still got legs and arms. She's got... Okay, so have you guys ever watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Mm-mm.
So when a vampire. Like they look mostly like normal people until they like go into vampire mode, and then suddenly they've got
Yeah.
this like angled forehead makeup and the fangs. So like at first her face looks normal, but then like when she like turns, it like it flashes snakiness. You know, the tongue and the fangs and the angled
Yes.
features. But that
Yes.
can come and go as you please.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, cool.
Um,
I'm excited.
the scales in various places in your body don't go away, but they're all in places that could easily be covered by clothing.
Okay.
Whoa. Arena, you look scary. Don't be mad. We had to. You were going to die otherwise.
So,
All of the decay that you felt previously is no
yeah.
longer present. Your
Okay.
strength feels returned to you. Where skin was peeling before, there are now scales that are not peeling.
Well, I suppose it worked. I'm not dying anymore.
You, you're not angry. You're mostly human still. You see, you can go back. You can change. She told me you could change at least. I hope she was telling the truth.
A question. Is there any like I mean, is there any now desire to like follow along with this quest of renewing?
So, like, not like inherently, but like where you before you were opposed to it because it could
Now
cause
it's like,
destruction. Now it's like whatever. So, like,
okay, cool.
if it could give you something you want, then like sure, why not? The downsides are gone.
Great. Cool. Um I I'm not sure if I'm angry with you. No, I'm not angry. I I suppose, are you going to awaken the night serpent?
Well, I was going to fulfill my promise at least, give them the crown, and I did. Oh, well, now I did promise that I would help with that part too. Yeah, and I'll. It will really hurt if I don't.
Very well.
May I assume?
I'm going to turn to Fanthaza. Does Dendar bestow any gifts on those who follow him?
Yes,
You've
yes.
already
Visions.
received, and now she speaks in Abyssal because you understand it now.
Mhm.
She says you've already received the first of his gifts, freedom from the things that were holding you back.
Mm.
It does
We
feel
can only
good.
imagine what else he will give us when we return him.
Very well.
I thought I thought that Savras was helping me move forward, but that he was merely enacting his own goals. This is power.
I I agree, and right now I would like some power.
That's what I-
Power over those who have wronged me sounds.
Indeed, right? Well, first things first, we have a congregation. We can now move them to our will. They have their own goals, but their own goals are compatible. We can get those snakes, we can free them. I don't I don't have any desire to destroy Nell. He's been helpful. Maybe he'll be helpful again.
Yes, it's true. Um,
As for this queen, I care not about her return to this city. This is our city.
she means nothing to me, but is it? Do we need others to release Dendar?
We only need the crown, though travel in the jungle is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It may be good to have witnesses to our new order. Those who have seen me transform and know you from before as well. We could gather more UNT, maybe even other followers of Dendar. I don't know who he speaks to other than the snakes.
Very well, Pharaoh. But if we are to do this, I would like a place of power in this order. I do not want to be a follower. I am not your follower.
Of course not. I didn't save you to do what I wanted. I saved you because you're the closest thing to a friend I still know. and I know that you've been things have happened to you that aren't right also, and we can't go back and change them from the past, but we can move forward together.
I agree, friend.
Thenthaza, meet Arena, your new queen.
Yes.
She says, as you guys come out, step out of the steps, out of the blood dripping, and come out, she like bows before both of you.
And sorry, is Thenthaza a pureblood or is she something else?
No, she's the same as
she's a nightmare
you,
speaker,
a
that's
nightmare
right.
speaker. Yeah. So, I've showed you the picture before, but bottom half snake, top half human.
Yeah. Cool. With one speaker of the nightmares of Dendar and one iron fist for which to rule these people, we will do wonders, Arena.
Yes,
Thenthaza.
yes, we will.
Oh God, she's cool.
Yeah, she's dope.
I forgot what she looked like.
She's super dope.
Well, let us go awaken our new god.
Do you think we should get the followers first or after?
We can do it first.
For the sake of time, what I will say is that you are able to head upwards and easily make it to the dungeons. Lucanu is there. And she freaks out when she sees Thenthaza, and Thenthaza strikes her down very quickly.
Oh, I was going to try to charm her.
Oh, you can try to charm her. That works too.
Well, I mean, it might happen at the same time. I'm going to snaky eyes charm her.
Yep.
All
gonna
is
make it-
well. Do not panic. Be calm.
And she let's say she averted her eyes from Thenthaza, but then she landed right on your eyes, Pharaoh.
Cool.
What's the DC?
16? Yeah, 16.
Give me just a second. She fails. So she's getting tense. She has her hand on her weapon, and then she relaxes. She says, "All is fine."
Good.
May we have the keys, Fintha? I mean,
Lucanu.
not Finthaza. Which one's this?
Lucanu.
Lucanu.
And she says, "Yes, here they are."
Good.
Thank you.
Keep an eye on that one. I'm going to go up to the snakes and slither up to them.
Thenthaza comes down with you and says, "Brethren, our king has returned," and she bows to you so you can say something to them before freeing them.
You are all witnesses to our new reign. We will bring back the return of our God. We will hold the power in this country, and it will be for us. No one shall come in and tell us that we are vermin any longer. We will be equal to all others. All of you are some of the last ones of the remaining order that was here before. And so you shall all become our primary agents. I'm
Inner
trying to think
circle
of a
or
name for
something.
them.
Yeah.
Like I want a good name for the first snakes.
Yeah.
The primary.
No. Yeah, it's something about slithery or some crap like that.
Honor guard kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like honor guard, something like that.
You can come up with that later.
Yeah,
You say something really cool right now.
exactly. Yeah, you are the blank. And then I unlock their doors.
The Slithering Seven.
And yeah, like Arena, like with her next to me, I say, we shall rule over you, and we shall lead us to prosperity.
And they're like, "Roar!" They're all in. Or
Yeah. Now, first orders first. Before we kill people, we kick them out. If they leave, we don't kill them. That's my new rule. That's my one rule. You can kill them after they refuse to leave. Good.
And one other rule: if we ever encounter our old adventuring group, leave them to us.
They all nod. And Fenthaza says, "Now let us go. We have some travel ahead of us to reach the Peaks of Flame.
We have to go to the Peaks of Flame.
We have to bring the crown to the Peaks of Flame."
Oh, okay, cool. Is the Peaks of Flame the same as the Mountain of Fire where the dwarves
No,
are?
they are distinct with
Okay.
yet having similar names.
Okay, good. I was like, that may pose issues.
No, see, the Mountain of Fire is to the north. The Peaks of Flame are roughly 3 days to the south.
Well, good, we should go
There's
now.
a lot of fiery mountains here, apparently.
All
No
right.
need to alert all the sentry. It's just Nell here, isn't it?
It's just Nell.
Lucano, go sleep in your room.
Okay.
It lasts 8 hours.
Yeah, she heads upstairs and goes to sleep. You guys make it to the gate. The Yuan Ti head right up to the gatehouse and open it. You see Nell in the distance on one of the other walls looking, and he sees you, and he sees the snakes, and he has a look of confusion, and he starts, like, running over along the wall. But as he's running over, you guys are already down and out the gates. And as he gets to he's at the top of the gatehouse, and he sees you leaving, he says, "Pharaoh, what is going on?"
We're leaving. We have business elsewhere.
Okay, is Irina... Oh, there she is. Is Lucano...
She's
Lucano?
okay.
Okay,
In her quarters.
goodbye.
Await your queen.
I recommend starting a new archive for new knowledge. You're missing a little bit.
He looks introspective, and then you guys head off into the jungle.
I know.
I love Nell.
You travel for 3 days with the Slithering Seven. Fenthaza being one of the Slithering Seven.
The Fang Bearers.
Oh, the Fang Bearers. There you go.
Yeah.
They can have more than one name. The Fang Bearers, also known as the Slithering
King
Seven.
and queen names. We'll think of those.
Until you reach the foothills, the Peaks of Flame. You climb up for some time until you reach a particular cave that Fenthaza knows the way to and leads you inside. As you enter this cave, the walls, as you go a few feet in, you notice are covered in carvings. Inscriptions, paintings, and carvings of the Yuan Ti and the story of the Yuan Ti, and you can see the creation of the Yuan Ti and their struggles since, and then aspirational of the Yuan Ti freeing Dendar and Dendar swirling around the world.
So I want to examine that closely because I'm still working for, I'm still trying to do all this, but I'm still a little bit apprehensive about these snake dudes.
Yeah.
I want to see if there's any like event that's clearly depicted on this that shows a change from them being normal people to being like aggressive and essentially working for evil.
There's not as necessarily a clear change. There is, when you see them go from people to snakes, there is clearly a metaphor of like shackles being released, like a freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Their perspective, and you heard Fenthaza say this before, is that like those emotions were holding them back,
Okay,
and they're now free from those emotions.
I see.
Now, lack of those emotions doesn't necessarily lead to evil, but it can and has in this case.
Okay, when we are going to make a new country for ourselves. Only those who we allow will be able to enter. And any who we wish to keep away will have to stay out. It will be ours, a nation of freedom.
In the center of this cavern now, so that the hallway comes in and there's this circular room and the mural sort of wraps around. In the center there is essentially a stone altar, and in the center there's very clearly a circular spot that is just the size of the crown.
Yeah.
And as you set the crown there, Fenthaza says, those of us who wish to cross over now must give an offering of blood. And she reaches out to the crown and cuts her hand on the sharp top of the crown and then drips it over the crown.
I'll follow and do the same thing.
Your fang bearers do the same.
Nice.
Do you want any of them to stay behind and watch the cave?
I think, all of them, right?
Oh, all of them?
Yeah,
Okay, so just
everyone
you three.
except for offering.
Great. You have the fang bearers are going to watch the cave and watch the crown, and the three of you are going to go in.
Yeah.
As you grab the thing and drop the blood, the room seems to spin around you and darken until you see blackness, and then there's a sort of a rumble as you snap back into another reality. You're in. You feel that you're outside, but it is dark even though it seems not like night, you don't see a moon or anything. There's light, but it's much like moonlight. But this is just how this place is. Everything is dark and shadowy and shifting slightly. You find yourself standing outside of a strange temple filled with snake imagery. There are statues of snakes and carvings of snakes and all sorts of things around.
He lies dormant in our plane, but here is his realm.
The door to the temple is a giant snake mouth, fangs bare, wide open.
Like this thing around us?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a snake.
something like that.
Yeah.
Except darker and more shadowy. In fact, as you look in the distance, everything sort of shimmers slightly, and is constantly moving. Nothing is fixed.
It's like we're in a desert.
A little bit, but it's not hot. Everything is sort of neutral, even cold.
Well, let's enter and see what the Great One has to offer.
As you head into the mouth of the snake, you notice a raven perched above the doorway, watching you enter.
Raven.
All right, you enter into the first chamber. You're in there's a bit of a hallway that leads into this wide, long room with a chasm between your side and the doors on the far side. There is a thin walkway that connects the two platforms, the one you're standing on and the one on the far side with the doors. On each side of the room, you see a large bowl on a pedestal. And in front of the bowl nearest you, you see 3 chalices. As you approach, you see writing on the bottom of the altar that is in some script you don't read, but as you approach, it sort of flickers into a language you recognize. In this case, Snake Abyssal. And it says that you must carry the water from this bowl to the next bowl, and the doors will open.
That's it?
Yeah, as you approach the bowl, you see the bottom, there's some sort of holes, and it actually begins to fill with water, and it looks like just enough to fill 3 chalices.
Okay.
Oh, all right then. Easy. Click. Walk over.
Yeah,
Pick up a
the
chalice.
bowl doesn't move. You pick up a little, a cup, and you scoop the
We'll
water
each
out
get
of
a
the bowl.
chalice.
Cool.
And then you have to walk across this very narrow walkway across the chasm.
Oh, I see. This is like balance beam kind of
Yeah.
narrow.
Yeah.
Right? Not like walkway kind of narrow. Okay,
Yes.
I'm understanding now. Okay. Well, luckily I'm a snake and we're good at this kind of thing. May his slithery tendrils guide me. Guidance, and I'm gonna wrap the snake body around the beam as I kind of coil around and do the snaky branch movement thing.
Bro,
Yeah.
didn't give me guidance.
Well, I'll give you guidance next. Wait there. Myself guidance
Is
first.
it touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just only applies to one person. Oh shoot, yeah.
So you should go last then.
I'll give you the guidance in that. Or yeah, I'll just go last. There you go.
Okay.
With the logical Fenthaza here to help us. Thanks.
So
Fenthaza.
Irina goes first.
Yeah. Dex save or dex check?
Acrobatics check.
Acrobatics check. Cool.
Roll your d4.
Yeah, and you get
Oh.
you lose your balance and you fall. You catch the beam, but you spill your water.
Okay, can I climb back up and go back?
There's no more water in the bowl. Is the problem?
I guess we're limited. Maybe I should do this.
Yeah, you do it.
I'm gonna guidance myself and do it all. Go back and forth.
Cool.
And what was it? Sorry, dex check. Was that what it was?
Acrobatics check,
Oh, okay. What was
which
that?
is
Sorry.
dexterity based.
Nice plus d4.
You're able to make it to the other side, and right as you get to the other bowl, you notice you didn't see him there before, but right next to the door, you see an old man in rags sitting against the wall, and please. He seems dried out and parched. He's reaching out for the cup of water.
Old man, are you? Hello? Are you really here? I'm gonna
There, you have a goal.
have what?
Please.
A goal.
A goal?
Keep moving.
He's sort of, the bowl is right in front of you, the door is beyond, and he's off to the side, just reaching up for the cup of water.
Yeah, I've been in Dendar nightmares before. The Nightmare Weaver does not make things easy. Shake it off and walk past.
All right, so you're gonna pour the water into the bowl.
Yeah.
Cool. You pour the water into the bowl.
Yep.
The doors open.
No empathy.
Fithaz and
man-
Irina are able to make it across since they're not trying to balance water.
Is the man still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Is the water still in the bowl, or did it
Nope,
disappear?
it drains. It goes out into a drain.
I'm gonna try. Oh, it drains. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any way to make water for him. I have all my stuff from outside, or is it like dream gear?
It's like dream gear.
Okay, so I don't have any water with me.
Like if
Okay.
you like even hold out like a water skin to him, like his hands pass through it. He can't
Okay.
grab it.
Damn illusions.
It's okay.
And then you
Let's
like
not go
throw
in
the
here.
cup down, and the cup does hit him. So
I just peg him with the cup. I'm like, you're not real.
and then you hit him with the cup. It actually hits him and bounces off of him.
We are terrible.
You come into the next room,
Don't say that. It's just an illusion.
and there's an altar, a person-sized altar with a ceremonial knife mounted in the front of it, and the words underneath it flicker into Snake Abyssal, and it says, "A sacrifice is required." And Fenthaza says, "I think I understand."
Read her mind.
Normal. So you read her mind. She's thinking like normal, humans and elves and other weak creatures who haven't, gotten rid of the bonds of empathy would, give their water away to the old man or refuse to sacrifice someone, and so only the Yuan Ti can free Dendar.
Good. So she does think that it's to sacrifice someone, right?
Yeah, she says. In fact, what she says out loud is, "Bring me the man from the last room. He will thirst no more."
Okay, I'll go and grab him.
So you grab him, pick him up, and he struggles a bit, but he's super weak. And you're easily able to bring him over to the altar.
And I'm gonna say to him, "All will be well."
You lay him down on the altar, and he seems confused, but he does what you say. Fenthaza comes over and takes the ceremonial knife, speaks a few words to Dendar in Abyssal, and plunges it into the dude. His blood seeps out and fills the little lines, and you see there's a pattern of a snake that's filled with blood in the thing. And then the next doors.
It's okay, right? He's an illusion.
I mean, whether or not he's illusion, it's what we must do.
I was thinking of
Let's
killing
keep
them.
moving.
The third room, you don't see any clear doors. It seems to be a large open room, and on the far wall, you see a giant bas relief, however the heck you pronounce it. A mural, a thing, art. And as you all come in and your eyes lock with the art, you see it actually starts to move and shift, and you actually feel like you can't look away. And the art seems to move and shift and begin to tell a story. You see a story of a man who must leave his village in order to save it. His family and his people are sick, and he knows he must go out and bring back a cure to save them. He learns of a great boon in a distant temple, and when he gets there, he passes the trials. But instead of a great boon, what is instead released is a terrible evil. His village is destroyed, his people and his family are killed, and he's forced to watch as destruction is wrought around the world, and it's all his fault. To you all, you look at this and you're like, okay, whatever. Irina, you still have this little connection to your other self.
Yeah.
And while, you're front of mind, you're like, okay, yeah, like the dude shouldn't have been so dumb and he wouldn't have gotten his family killed. You feel like a single tear just form and then drop onto the ground. And as it hits the stone beneath you, the whole temple starts to rumble. And then it seems like the entire thing is collapsing, and you can't move, you can't pull your eyes away. And then each of you feel sort of like you are plunged into blackness.
So we all feel this, not just her.
You all feel this. But Irina notices that it happens right when a tear forms and drops to the ground.
What happened?
She's even surprised herself by the tear. You are not all in the same place.
Okay.
Arena?
Finthaza and Pharaoh, you find yourselves floating in a thick black nothingness. You're sort of floating. It's almost like thick water, but you can breathe. It's a strange etherealness. And you hear something shifting in the darkness, something moving, a ripple, a rumble. You feel something moving just out of your reach, just past you. When suddenly, a massive eye opens out of nowhere in front of you. And now, with this massive eye there, you can start to make out the shape around it of an enormous serpent. This eye is a great distance from you and yet larger than you can even see without, looking all around. And you realize that this is Dendar. It opens its mouth to speak. But instead of praise, condemnation flows forth. You fools! You think you are the first Yuan-Ti to attempt to free me? In millennia across these plains, thousands have tried, and none have yet realized that they fail every trial. My captors are not fools. They devised 3 tests of empathy to ensure that no emotionless beings could free me. You have simply trapped yourselves like the others, and you beg to be consumed.
Crap.
Meanwhile, Irina, you find yourself standing in a long room with columns along the side and a throne at the end of the room. On the throne, you see a whole flock of ravens sitting on it, next to it, in it. You may not have seen this place before, I don't recall, but I know, for our viewers' sake, that Pharaoh has seen this place before. When he first came to Barovia and tried to reach out to Savris, instead, he saw this temple. And as you approach the throne, you see the ravens start to take flight and then swirl, and they become a very recognizable figure, Mother Night.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at you and she says, Irina.
Hello again.
She says, but not quite, Irina. I see. And she looks, you can see she's looking at your eye where the crack is. Even though everything else healed, that crack still remains. She says, you are the first mortal to pass these trials in the eons since they were created. Yet, I sense that you don't quite share the motives of your colleagues. You don't desire wanton destruction for its own sake. You allowed the Barovians to die for a purpose. What purpose does freeing Dendar serve? The story that you saw on the mural was just a story, but if you free him, it will become your truth. He doesn't return favors. He only knows to consume and destroy.
I am not freeing him for destruction's sake. I do not wish the world to burn. I do want power. I feel I have been wronged.
She says, I offered you power before, and you turned it away for that of Ilmater.
That was a different me.
So you return.
Perhaps we can work something out.
She says, yes. I think something can be arranged.
Very well.
And that's all I got for this episode.
I didn't realize I was going to trap myself, man.
So with that, you will get to see more of Pharaoh and other Arena when we at some point in season 5. This all will be coming back. Thanks, folks, for watching. Please do comment on the video. Give us a message. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. My players, please do message me your rose, thorn, bud. That is the thing you liked, the thing you didn't like, and the thing you're looking forward to. And we'll see all of you very soon for the premiere of Season 5 of Princes. Bye-bye now.
Bye.